require a minimum of 5 affirmative votes in order to grant the variances. Please note that any order of the board is valid for a period of 1 year. If you would like to request that the board table or adjourn your case due to the absence of a full board, which tonight we are down at least 2 members, you must inform the chairperson immediately after the public hearing. Petitioners shall do their best to limit presentations to 10 minutes. Each participant in a public hearing shall do their best to limit comments to 3 minutes. All right, seeing that, like I said, we've down 2 board members. Under approval of minutes, is there any amendments or motions to approve the minutes for December 11th?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Moore seconds. Any comments? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. We don't have any unfinished business. Sorry. So we'll move on to the first case of the new year, 26-01-01. Yes.
Mr. Chair, I need to recuse myself from this case as my company has direct financial involvement.
Understood.
So I'll head to the back. Thank you.
Thank you. So for this case, we will be down 3 board members. This is for case 26-01-01, 117 West 4th Street. Whenever you are ready and he steps away, you may take it away.
All right. This site's located on the south side of West 4th Street between South Center and South Main in the Central Business District zoning district. And the site is obviously developed with an existing multiple tenant commercial building. And the petitioner is proposing to occupy one of those tenant spaces for a business which provides tattoo and body piercing services. So, as this board is well aware, the zoning ordinance does classify tattoo and body piercing studios as an adult-oriented business, and this use is not permitted either by right nor by special land use in this zoning district. So the petitioner is seeking a use variance to open their business at this location. The zoning ordinance also establishes a minimum buffer requirements for the subject site to be away from other known adult-oriented businesses. And the closest known one to this site is 227 feet away on the other side of the railroad tracks. So the petitioner is seeking a second variance to waive the 773 feet from the minimum required 1,000-foot distance from an existing regulated use. And then the zoning ordinance also does require the 1,000-foot buffer for the use to also be separated from any school, park, playground, daycare center, or religious institution. Eagle Park Plaza is located just across the street, approximately 169 feet away from the subject site. So the petitioner is seeking a third variance to waive the 831 feet from the minimum required 1,000-foot distance as well for any school, library, park, playground, daycare facility, or religious institution as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? All right. Seeing none, if the petitioner is present, you may come forward and state your case.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the Zoning Board of Appeals. My name is Dennis Cowan, and I am here tonight on behalf of the applicant, Sankey Inc., and also with me is Eric Myers from Krieger Klatt, and also with us, I think I'll speak during the public hearing, is Michael Pitt, who is the landlord, owner, and occupant of the building. Unfortunately, a representative from Sankey Inc. Would have had to travel from New Jersey. This is their first Michigan location. They're very excited about it, and unfortunately circumstances arose that he could not be here, but we are certainly here on his behalf. The Sankey Inc. Company will operate under what's known as a Cleopatra Inc. banner, and that is, for those who may know a little bit about tattoo facilities internationally. They are from Ankara, Turkey. They are in 17 countries. They're in 19 states here in the United States and also on 4 military bases. They have 140 studios worldwide. They're very well renowned. And again, this is their first facility in the state of Michigan, and they're very excited about this opportunity. They are proposing to be at 117 West 4th Street, which is a building that was built in 1922 and has been beautifully restored by Mr. Pitt. And if you haven't been there, they have a great coffee shop on the first floor, Rayla, and I highly recommend it. And it'll be a great neighbor for the Cleopatra Sankey operation. As has been mentioned by Alex, I think several of you have voted on this issue in the past. Back about 30-some years ago, there was a situation in Royal Oak with some human trafficking through massage parlors, and the City Commission, in order to give a little bit more oversight to adult businesses, including massage parlors and also tattoo studios, decided to lump them together into an adult business classification with some very strict use and variance requirements. So that is what has brought us here today. I think we all would agree that tattoos have, I think, lived well beyond any type of stigma that they may have or may have had in the past. Many massage parlors that are in operation now, massages, a lot of it's connected with physical therapy locations. So maybe some of I think a case can be made that some of the concerns that were had 30 years ago really don't exist today. And these are businesses which function and flourish in Royal Oak, add to our economic vitality, and also do not cause any harm to their neighbors, particularly some of the facilities and public institutions that are mentioned in the ordinance. So we would ask that you take into consideration the fact that the last 5 times that the Zoning Board of Appeals has voted on this matter, they've approved it, both for the use and distance variances. I know each situation stands on its own merits, but that's been a pretty clear message of the Zoning Board in the past. So we are very grateful for the opportunity to come before you tonight, and I'll certainly answer any questions, or Eric or Mr. Pitt, about the building. I did want to add one thing so you know. Back 30 years ago, when this ordinance was passed, there were no state regulations regarding tattoo studios. Those were passed in 2010. There's now about 25 pages of regulation, and it's very comprehensive. Here in Oakland, and the facility has to be a licensed facility. The licensing and inspections come through the Oakland County Health Department. Oakland County further requires that each individual tattoo artist has to obtain a practitioner's permit from the county. They have to undergo blood-borne pathogen training, and also have to take the entire hepatitis V vaccine series and present evidence of that to the county, in addition to several other requirements. I want to add that Cleopatra Inc. also takes these health issues very seriously. They also require of all their tattoo artists that they undergo CPR training. So I think this is a company that has a very good international track record, a good track record here in the United States, and they look forward to coming here to Royal Oak.
Questions for the petitioner? Yes, Mr. Wolf.
Thank you so much for that presentation. The question that I have is, and this is maybe aimed a little bit more at staff, but if we were to grant the variance tonight, what would you have to do to show city staff that you are following all the rules that were given to you by, the state and the county?
Well, we'd have to have a license to operate, otherwise we'd be in violation of law. So we'd have to have that state granted license in order to operate.
So I guess just to reword the sentence, so like, let's say we approve you tonight, then you're going to go show the state license and all of those things to the city, and that's when the city will let you open.
I don't know if that's a requirement to operate. Usually a certificate of occupancy revolves more around the property and having a number of bathrooms and all the requirements that go. But I will say that Mr. Vahorsky did originally alert us to a couple requirements that we were short on the site plan, and referred us, and Krieger-Clapp made sure that all those requirements were met at the state level for a facility. So I don't know what the review would be from we do, again, from the state, from the city rather, but I do know that the county will have to come out here, do an inspection, and give an approval of the facility and any of the training that need to be taken for the individual practitioners.
Okay, that's perfect. That answered my question. I just wanted to make sure that there was some kind of oversight either at the city level or the county level.
Okay, Mr. Reddy, then Mr. Lineweber.
My question is not regarding the adult use aspect, but just as a use variance in general, we have to answer criteria A, that the property could not be reasonably used for purposes permitted in that zone. I didn't see anything in the paperwork that was attached. In the past, petitioners have said, well, it's been on the market for so many months and there was no other suitable business. Is there anything like that to suggest that no permitted business could use this spot?
Yeah, well, the request is for a tattoo studio. So and I think last time I was here a couple of years ago on 4th Street, we don't have it this time, but we kind of plotted out, and you literally, without a use variance, you can't be anywhere in the downtown.
Oh,
You know.
that's not what I meant. What I meant was, why can it not be used for
Well,
any of the many permitted uses?
but I think this is a permitted use. It can be a permitted use with a zoning variance, so that is what we're asking for. You know.
Mr. Lineweber.
Excuse me, on that train of thought, what's the hardship as you're describing it is the ordinance itself?
Well, the hardship is that
It's
we
not
couldn't be here.
an allowed.
Yeah, we're not allowed to be here without the approval of a use variance from the zoning board of appeals. So the hardship is the ultimate hardship. You can't get into business. And the fact is that there's at least 4 other tattoo studios down in downtown Royal Oak, and there's others within the city that are allowed to operate. So that would be a hardship and under the totality of the circumstances.
When you're reviewing the location of this tattoo parlor, why this particular location? Is there something unique about it, or is it just in a district in downtown that was
Well, I
desirable?
think anytime, first of all, you have to have enough space for what your operations are, so you're going to look at the size of the location. Obviously, you might look at parking, you might look at several aspects for your business, but I think primarily the size and the building, ease of access for customers and things of that nature.
Okay.
I don't think, I haven't asked the Cleopatra company if they did the analysis, of where they could go in the city. I can tell you that having done this before on 2 other occasions, that if you look, because of the fact that we have a park in the middle of downtown, we've got the small park there, we've got churches and schools. If you draw 1,000-foot lines from there all the way around, you wouldn't have anywhere in downtown Royal Oak you could go. Maybe there's a place in a corner, but so the type of size of business that you need may not be available in an area.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the petitioner? Mine was a little bit along those lines, and you already got to it, that Cleopatra's here, so they can't really answer, which is, and you've already alluded to it, there's already 4 other tattoo parlors downtown. Why is there a need for another one? Why does it have to be right downtown and not a little bit outside of the downtown area? That would be just my question.
Well, first of all, even if we're outside the downtown area, you could well run into the same problem.
I personally don't have a problem with the being close to a school or anything like that, because I agree that the tattoo parlors is lumped. I'm just asking, why is there a need to keep on adding more tattoo parlors downtown?
Well, I'll give 2 answers to that. First, Cleopatra Inc. is an international company, and I think they see Royal Oak as an attractive place to do business. And the fact that there are some other parlors here means that there's customers and there's people who are interested in their services. But I will give you the same answer I've given before on this issue is, why do we have restaurants and why do we have hair salons? We seem to have, we have cornered the market on that, and the city has never been the competition police. They'll let competition rise and fall as it may, and we have allowed a number of businesses in different areas to come in, such as restaurants and hair salons, and also tattoo studios.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? All right, just to remind you, there's only 6 voting members up here at the board.
Right.
You need 6 affirmative votes for this use variance to pass. So
Right.
after public comment, I will ask you if you would like us to proceed or to adjourn until next month.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we'll open up public comment on this case. If anyone would like to come forward for public comment, you may come forward and state your public comment.
Good evening. Michael Pitt. I am the owner of the property. I have been a property owner since 2003. That's when we renovated the building. My firm moved into downtown Royal Oak in 1992. We were in the Washington Square Plaza building before we undertook the renovation of the old Haberman fabric store, as you might recall. When I first came to downtown in 1992, there were gift shops and all bookshops and all sorts of different retail outlets. Everything has changed. The economic times have changed, and there are no longer any gift shops in downtown Royal Oak. And why? Because everyone's buying through the internet and other means. And so the use of my building for tenants is somewhat limited. And to go, to your question, are there other uses? There is very limited other uses. My building will not accommodate a restaurant. It's not designed for a restaurant. I will not permit a tenant who has loud business activities there. I run a very prominent law firm on the 2nd and 3rd floor. We need quiet. We need a professional atmosphere. And Guzzling Alley wanted to rent that space a few years ago. I said, no way, you're not coming into my building. We've got to have a professional maintenance and appearance and atmosphere. And so I naturally was a little suspicious of Cleopatra Inc. I don't know very much about tattoo parlors. I don't have tattoos. I don't frequent those places, but I did a little research. Talked to the regional director. Very impressed with this operation. I was out in California in November. I visited one of their stores, their facilities. It's upscale. And to answer your question, why my building's upscale. This is an upscale operation. I was really impressed with the quality of the interior designs, the professionalism of the staff, that the atmosphere there that I saw was very pleasant and service-oriented, and I felt very pleased to have them in my building. The office manager and building manager is on the 3rd floor of the building. She's there 100% of the time. If there are any issues that come up, she deals with them. The 2 gentlemen, Mo and Sala, who operate the Rala coffee shop next door, are excited about having a co-tenant, Cleopatra Inc. And so it's a very good fit for what we're trying to accomplish. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Next person, please try to limit your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Justin Fox, owner and resident artist at 4th Street Tattoo at 314 West 4th Street. We've been running 7 days a week for the last 3 years. I have recently renewed my lease under the pretense that my competitors had to be a minimum of 1,000 feet away. Choosing Royal Oak was deliberate, as we recognize the city's commitment to supporting small businesses. However, I am concerned about a corporation operating over 140 shops can provide the same level of personal accountability that Royal Oak citizens deserve. And unfortunately, I find myself competing with a corporate entity that interjects itself between two locally owned tattoo shops. Oakland County currently has over 150 tattoo shops, more than any other county. I'm worried that our little city will just be part of the bigger problem that our industry is currently facing. While we understand the desire to fill buildings, undercutting small businesses would harm the city and offset the balance that city planners work to maintain with ordinances, such as those prohibiting the same business within 1,000 feet. Tattoos are not haircuts, coffee, or a casual dining experience. It is important that we acknowledge the gravity of the services we offer and the personal exchanges that exist within a tattoo. I am opposed to the variance in question. We have adhered to all city ordinances. We respectfully ask you to veto the proposed changes, which seems geared towards benefiting corporate interests at the expense of small businesses that generally serve our community. We wish to continue to providing Royal Oak with quality permanence without compromising the craft. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else may come forward? Going once? Going twice? All right, last call for public hearing. All right, public comment is closed. As stated before, you need all 6 of us up here to vote yes. Would you like us to proceed, or would you like us to adjourn for next month?
We'll adjourn until next month.
Okay.
While I have ultimate confidence in this zoning board of appeals, I think we'll defer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn until next month? Yes.
I'll make a motion to postpone to next month.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any comments? All right. Or would you give your reason as to why first?
I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. I think if the applicant wants us to postpone, then that's his right to do so. So,
Okay. If there's no other comments, we'll move to vote. All those in favor of postponing to next month signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. We'll see you next month. Thank you. Okay. We'll move on to case number 26-01-02 for 1402 Donald Avenue. If someone will get Mr. Klatt, and you can start up when he gets back.
Take a nap back there.
All right.
I assume.
Site's a corner lot located at the southeast intersection of Donald Avenue and North Vermont Avenue. And it is obviously developed with an existing single-family dwelling, and there's also a detached garage at the rear of the property. And the petitioner is proposing to remove the existing roof line on the dwelling in order to construct a second floor addition, and that will create a full height second floor along the front of the dwelling. The existing house itself already maintains a non-conforming west side yard setback of 6.75 feet, where a minimum required 8-foot setback is required. And the zoning ordinance does require that any alteration, addition, or modification to an existing non-conforming structure must result in compliance. And obviously, the addition is not going to be resulting in compliance, so the petitioner is seeking a variance to alter/expand a non-conforming structure in a non-conforming manner. The petitioner is also seeking the variance to waive the 1.25 feet from the minimum required 8-foot west side yard setback. The dwelling also requires a minimum 30-foot north front yard setback, and the house in its current configuration is already maintaining a compliant front yard setback. The new second-story addition will be slightly reducing that to now 28.5 feet. So the petitioner would be seeking a third variance to waive the 1.5 feet from the minimum required 30-foot north front yard setback. Thank you.
Questions for staff?
Question?
Yes.
Alex, when you're measuring the setback, you're measuring it to the facade or the face of the dwelling itself? Whether it's first or second floor?
Yes.
If there was a roof overhang, up above or something, that's not included? Is that
Correct.
Okay, so it's the fact that they've got I don't want to call it a dormer, but it's like a bump out? Okay. thank you.
Precisely.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, if the petitioner may come forward and present your case.
Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Commissioner and board members. Appreciate your time and your consideration this evening. I'll make it brief and to the point. My name is Paul Liver and I represent Diamond Developments, and here with me today is George Bailey from Bailey Built, our architect, and the customers Sean and Stacy Lapine, and they're the homeowners. As you know, we're seeking a non-use variance to alter and expand a non-conforming structure. When you look at the existing property, what we're looking to achieve is literally just to, on the side of it, raise the side walls as they are, where it stands. The front of the home, we're seeking to expand that out 1.5 feet, but it is the second story. So the first story really would remain unchanged in that regard. What concerns us, if you're looking at the hardships for the client, they love this home. They love the location. They love their neighbors. They love the schools. The kids love the neighbors. They love the yard. They love the home. This is their home, and this is where they want to continue to build roots. They love Royal Oak, and in order to really give them the space that they're looking for, they just had their third child, and so they're, like many Royal Oak families, they really are trying to take that existing home and just expand it in order to be able to make room. And what this would do is give a nice primary bedroom, an updated bathroom upstairs, and another full bedroom to make it a 4-bedroom home instead of just a 3, frankly, tiny bedrooms. In order to achieve a design that would fit within the guidelines, we would have to take the side of the house, the side of the addition, 1.25 feet in, and the front of the home, just keep it even with the front of the home, losing about 1.5 feet there. What that does essentially is it really limits the space of the addition. It makes it not worth it, essentially. In order for them to achieve the space that they would be looking to do, they would have to also then expand upwards in the back of the house, which is, not to make this about expenses, but obviously more expensive. We would have to revisit the design, more material, a totally different look. And frankly, at the end of the day, we do believe that the design of the home and what we're proposing, the look of it with that second story, is very much in line with the look of what's happening here in Royal Oak with, like homes. And in order to achieve that variance, we'd have to come in on that second story on at the very least on the west side, which really, to make it look aesthetically pleasing, would have to be on the other side as well. Otherwise, it's just going to look choppy and ugly. So we're hoping, we're asking for some grace, some variance of the board to consider giving this nice family a little extra space without, we're not asking for blocking the line of vision, the field of vision coming around the corner. It's not going to impact that unless you're driving a 2-story, London bus. You should not be impacted going around the corner with any kind of line of vision. It would be the best use of the space, best use of the funds in order to be able to give them that extra space to be able to stay in the home. The other hardship that would be incurred, frankly, if it's not the expansion having to go back because it would be narrower and shorter, it would be that they might have to move. And they love the neighborhood, as I stated. They love the neighbors. They love the school system. In order to be able to get, the size of the homes that they're looking for, they may have to move out of the area. And, that's a hardship that we're trying to avoid for them. So I believe I covered it all from my side. Again, appreciate your time and your consideration this evening. Any questions for me?
Any questions for the petitioner? Well, I have one at least.
Sure.
You needed an extra variance because you came out with that little bit of a bay-type window in the front. Why was the need for that to be put on there? I know aesthetically it makes it look better, but I just wanted you to talk to the practical difficulties of why that had to be there versus not.
That's a valid point, to be quite frank with you. It really, that did boil down to aesthetics. So if eliminating that bay window, I haven't had that conversation with a client, but I would suspect that would not be a non-issue. It really was just an aesthetic appeal, aesthetic look.
Okay.
I believe we're still, even with that tiny bump out, in line with the homes. Like there's at least one home on that street that's still slightly ahead of that, if you look at the line of property. But again, I digress. That could be removed, I think, if we needed to.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, I'll remind you that we only have 7 board members here. You need 5 of us to vote yes. Next month, it's not guaranteed that we'll have a full board, but we should have more. So I will ask you after public comment if you want us to proceed or if you want us to adjourn until next month. So if you want to, you can go back to discuss real quick and then I'll have public comment. All right, we'll open up public comment on this hearing. If there's anyone to speak on this case, you may come forward at this time. Going once? Going twice? Public comment is closed. All right. Would you like us to proceed or to adjourn until next month?
Can I ask the board a question?
You can, but you can't ask us how we're going to vote. Let's just say that. Fair enough.
If the vote is a no, how long is that no?
1 year unless there's a substantial change. Okay. What would you like us to do?
We would like to proceed.
Okay, we'll bring it to this side of the board. There's discussion and/or motions. Anyone?
I just have
Miss-
a quick question. Oh, sorry. I
You
didn't know
raised
if
your hand first.
were
No,
first.
go
I
ahead.
apologize. I
No,
just jumped
go
the
ahead.
gun. That bump out, that little bay projection, that's still not any worse than the existing condition, right? Am I correct? It does project, I'm looking at the side elevation, but it's still behind the existing wall, right? The existing front porch line?
I was taking that was the 1.5 of wide.
Yeah, that's the 1.5 feet.
But it's still behind the front.
No, but if it wasn't for that, there wouldn't be that 1.5
Right.
feet variance.
Correct.
Mr. Moore, your hand?
I didn't have a question, so if others had questions.
Nope. Go on, go for it.
Okay, yeah, I make a motion to approve the variances as requested.
Okay, is there a second? Mr. Klatt, okay, go ahead.
Sure, I mean, the conditions are existing, and I think, they 1.5 feet for a window that really does add some styling to the front of it versus flat. I can see why they would have the need to do that, just to kind of, not in architecture terms, but it ties it all together well. Did I say that right? I'm in favor of their requests.
Okay. Mr. Klatt, anything to add?
Not much more, right? These are existing non-conforming conditions. I think even though that projection is out a bit and they're asking for that request, it's still behind the actual porch itself. So I don't think we're making the conditions really any worse, and I think it does add a bit of an architectural element. It's pretty flat without that piece, so I think it's a pretty minimal request to do so. So again, I think it's these are all existing non-conforming conditions, and I appreciate the fact that these are modern times, new ways of living. I think you need a little bit more space for your family to grow into, and it's not a big request. So I think it's tastefully done, and it makes sense from a streetscape standpoint. It's not hurting anybody. It's not impacting the public way in any sense. I think it's a nice addition to the house in a tactful way.
Mr. Langweber.
Yeah, and to add to that, I do like to see these existing homes renovated. So I applaud you for, there seems to be a tendency to, tear them down and start all over again. But in this case, you've got a good starting point and you're adding to it, which is great to see. So good to see for your family, and I'll be in support.
Okay. Other comments? No. Anyone else? I too will be in support, although, yes, ideally, it's nice to always have less variances. I do agree that this is a very minimal ask, and it's still back from the overall porch and whatnot, so by default, it is at the ground level, still less obtrusive than above, and I think that's the practical difficulty of that portion of it. And I think it adds value to the house by doing that design versus having it flat, which, of course, adds value to the neighborhood and makes it all more livable place to be. So I think it overall helps everyone. Yes, Mr.
Oh, no, you can fish.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay. I mean, I think the other thing too is my dog and I go to the dog park a lot, and so we'll walk up, we've walked up pretty much all the side streets, and so I don't see this as anything different than in the neighborhood. So, I also will be voting in favor with it. I think it's, I can't speak as much to the design but I can certainly say that it's not, they're not asking for a McMansion, so no problems.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, seeing none, we'll move to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. Congratulations. Best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, we will move on to other business for the annual report.
I'll be over there in 5 minutes.
The annual report's there just for informational purposes. There's no action to take on it, so whenever the board is ready, you can move to the next item.
Okay, we don't have to vote on it, right? We're just to review it, that's right. Okay, the next item is public comment. So we'll open this up to public comment. If there's anyone here for public comment, you may come forward at this time. Looks going once. Going twice. 3 times, no public comment. We will close it. So then we'll move to adjournment. Who would like the motion? Anyone? Mr. Wolf?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Who would like to second it? Mr. Reddy, okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. We're done for the first year. First meeting of the year. Yeah.
8-minute meeting.
Nice. Yeah, but we got one for next month.